Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for June 20th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 12. And if you add the 1 and the 2 together, you get the number 3. The number 3, think of it like the Trinity. You've got the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. You've got the Virgin, the Mother, and the Crone. You've got the Mother, the Father, and the Child. So this is about finding that balance and that equilibrium. And 3s are usually very, very positive no matter what, but also in the yogic numerological system, they actually call them devil and divine, which means that, you actually have to find that balance between the two sides of your nature, the primal reptilian part of your brain and then your higher functioning mind. And I always tease and say that I have my angelic self, that no matter what is happening is calm, cool, and collected. And then I have my human self that, falls into, the patterns of my own wounding and my own fears and my own self-doubt. So in life, you have to find that internal balance between your higher angelic side of your nature and your primal, lower, base side of your nature. And you must stand in the middle between those two sides because you are the bridge between your higher and lower natures. Do not expect the world to make that decision for you. You are here to master your own duality and the nature of your existence. Becoming whole means that you have to integrate all sides of yourself. All aspects have value under certain conditions. Integration is about being at choice between your many sides, aspects, personalities, and perspectives. You are the chairman of your own board of directors. And within, you are many personalities that you have to come to terms with and find peaceful solutions to hearing and dealing with all of their perspectives. Mastering that is a full-time job right now in this world. It is extremely challenging to not go into a knee-jerk reaction to external world situations. You can be a slave to your emotions or the master of them. As always, such things are your choice. Okay, astrology today. There's a little faux pas right there. Okay, it's a big day. It's going to be a busy day. We have the Summer Solstice, and then we have the solar eclipse with a new moon occurring very, very late this evening. And they're occurring within hours of each other. So it's sort of a double whammy. And this can have far-reaching impact for a long time to come. It's a big day. It's a big weekend for a lot of reasons. Now, how we manifest this in our world right now is going to be interesting to witness. We will see what these powerful forces stir to the surface. Such an eclipse impacts us for months, so critical ignition points begin now and will continue to unravel dysfunction and the things whose time has come for a shift. Looking at that, a lot of things are going to shift. And if that alone was not enough energy, Jupiter and Pluto align for the second of 3 powerful conjunctions that started in April when the COVID virus went global. We are only at the halfway point between the current cycle that goes through November. My concern is that some people think that we have a handle on this virus, but I beg to differ. I expect it to go big under this alignment, but I hope I am wrong. In a perfectly controlled world, this virus could go down slowly through November. I hope that is the case, but we are not in a perfectly controlled world at the moment. We are in America with the free-spirited quality that is our rebellious American nature, and it will probably put us at more risk before this is done. The communication planet Mercury, the love planet Venus are both in retrograde. Communicating emotions is a volatile and potentially dangerous game because of the radically shifting values in the world right now. It is time to redo that budget of yours. Many things are going to shift even more than you anticipated, because things are going to be shortly revealed to you that you could not possibly anticipate in your previous calculations. The good news is that we are getting a chance to catch up with those we love and to get the projects that fell by the wayside over the past many months accomplished. With all the planets in retrograde over the next 3 months, we are going to be busy doing those things that are so important and essential to our well-being in a much longer and broader sense of the world. There is one key difference between the summer solstice, moon in Gemini, and the solar eclipse, moon in Cancer. The mutability of the Gemini moon for solstice marks the next 3 months ones of constant change. I'm not kidding about that. Do your best to keep things quick and light. Know that you are going to be moving from project to project, person to person in a breathless pace that is sure to challenge your mind and energy. Expect to do a lot of things rather than one project that requires your long-term intense focus. The solar eclipse has the moon in feeling-oriented, family-oriented, safety-needing Cancer. And where Gemini wants to take short trips and get out and away, the Cancer solar eclipse wants to stay close to home and family. Know that you're going to feel that push-pull personally and directly. It will become a constant over the next few months. You've heard me say this before. Firsts and lasts in astrology amplify the energy. This is the last solar eclipse in the cycle in Cancer, and so I expect people's safety issues to really come to the surface. Some people decide to create safety by being aggressive, and I think there's quite a big danger with that, because if people feel threatened, they will shoot a gun off, okay? This is a time for radical emotional maturity. A solar eclipse brings up the deeper inner emotions and allows you to see and understand on a new level your soul's core motivations. In this year of changing values and priorities, now is a good time to invest in what is essential and critical. This year's Sirius Capricorn energy is shifting by the end of the year into Aquarius, and it will finally pave the way towards a more idealistic and humanitarian world. So, believe it or not, even in all this insanity, I actually am feeling better and more hopeful, because I know we have finally made this turn and made this shift. And so many people at the very beginning of 2016 were like, we're going to change this, we're going to make this happen, we're going to make that happen. And I looked at all the Capricorn and I was like, nothing's going to change. It's going to get stuck, frozen, locked down. The old controlling powers that be are going to do one final death nail in their own coffin, which is exactly what they're doing. And then we're going to hit this Aquarian energy and everything will radically shift. So I can feel the shift. So that's why I feel positive about it, even though I know that there's going to be a lot of aggression and violence that's going to stir up here over the next months before this election, and absolutely during the election, and absolutely after the election. Okay. So with the Mars and Jupiter, 2 fire planets, sextiling early today, ask yourself the question, are you ready to make the world what you want? Are you ready to make your own luck and path through this insanity? This aspect creates a type of forceful resourcefulness. I look forward to what that is supposed to look like for you. The sun moves into Cancer today, and this promotes a desire for protecting those things that you love and that have meaning and value to you. You recognize that feeling safe and secure has never been more important. Okay, my quote for today. Question the intentions of those that long for and need the promises of privilege. And I'm not done with the quote, but I'm going to say that again because I think it's so critical. Question the intentions of those that long for and need the promises of privilege. Such things are designed to keep such people numb to the pain of those they exploit. So I'm going to do the second part again. Such things are designed, so the such things means they long for the promises of privilege. So the promises of privilege are designed to keep people of power numb to the pain of those they exploit. Just saying. Okay, blog today. While this solstice is a time to celebrate a new season arriving, it is all about figuring out how to create safety. Time to get real. When some of the powerful and wealthy get their egos hurt, their fragile feelings and perceived justified reactions have successfully destroyed nations, civilizations, and countries for millions of years. I realized a long time ago when I met a lot of very famous, wealthy people that they seemed to share something I found interesting. Now, this is not all of the powerful, wealthy people that I found, but it was significant how many there were. And what I found was that they were using money and power to protect themselves. I've even had people directly say to me, I wanted the money and the power so that I could build a house with a big wall around it and I could protect my family and I could keep everybody safe because I don't trust these idiots out there. I mean, they flat out said that to me and I was like, wow, okay, okay. So, that means to me they're scared. So hiding under all of that wealth and power in many were these deeply insecure souls who had manufactured facades of power to shield them from the truth of their own self. I could clearly see that they really felt unsafe. They needed yes people around them in order to have constant agreement so their egos were not challenged or wounded. It takes a lot of energy, power, and money to defend against the raw reality and truth of this world. Not to mention the level of denial you have to be living through and the level of self-importance that you use to make yourself so much better than others. I question those that long and need for the promises of privilege that are designed to keep them numb to the pain of those they exploit. Now, I don't know if you ever saw that movie that's called Siddhartha. It's about the Buddha. And in the story, Siddhartha was a prince of a wealthy royal family. He was protected and not allowed to go out into the real world, but he snuck out and discovered how much suffering, poverty, and desperation there was in the world. That is when he realized that the world that he was in was a distortion of the truth. In that moment, he committed to radically changing. He stripped himself of his comforts and went out into that scary world to learn how to adapt and become fully awake and enlightened. You cannot become enlightened in a vacuum or a bubble of protection. You have to learn to embrace the suffering of this world and figure out your place in how to help, serve, and alleviate that suffering. Being alive is designed to be unsettling. And let's be clear, minds change, bodies change, emotions change, but facts do not. Those that wield power from a place of fragility and defensiveness do much more harm than good. They weaponize the emotions of those they are exploiting with the intention to confuse and convolute. This particular eclipse happening today is literally setting the stage, the next stage of evolution for humanity. The eclipses this year are their own expose designed to look at all that has been hidden away in the darkness of our soul. Eclipses by nature are designed to create a death and a new beginning. They are to illuminate that which has been hidden in the shadows for too long. These eclipses on the weekend of Juneteenth is the moment that brings the Black Lives Matter issues into the spotlight around the globe. I expect many things to happen. I expect it to be confrontational and painful, revealing the horrific treatment that those in power have been consciously and intentionally inflicting upon those that they deem below them. If the white people would tell themselves the truth is that we have not done enough to help or change the system. then change would finally begin to happen, because it is our fault that we are still dealing with an issue that should have been settled a long time ago. We got comfortable in our complicity, and we should be ashamed. If you believe that governments and systems have used violence and threats in order to control their people, then you do not, if you believe that governments and systems have to use violence and threats in order to control their people, then you do not really understand what makes civilizations work and thrive. The systems that we have allowed to stay in place are those that have created wounds so deep that they have divided this country for generations. It allowed others to take advantage and steal land, worth, and effort from those putting forth great effort just because the color of their skin or their nationality. A country will not be truly safe without people that care deeply for balance and equality. And people that do not feel safe will eventually tear down the walls of those golden towers that hide the weak from the truth of the horror of what they have created. As we speak, people are gathering at the base of those gilded towers, preparing to storm the castle. And they will win, because there are way more of us than them.